Hey everyone, welcome to Revive 360. Thanks for joining us this week. We're talking about working out this week. So, a bunch of stuff we can go over. Obviously, there's tons of different fun ways to get your exercise in. We're just going to go over, first off, different ways to go about it. Second off, show you how easy it can be. And then on top of that, just how to throw it into daily life and all the health benefits. And I mean, there's tons of them. So, we'll just jump right in.
So I guess my first question is, how much should we be exercising? Because you watch the news, read articles. I mean, everybody has their opinion.
Completely. So through at least through my little bit of schooling on it, what I was told is as long as you can do 2 to 3 days a week and you're hitting 20 to 30 minutes, so only 1 hour a week total, and that's perfectly healthy. I mean, if you want to do more than that, perfect, but everyone's different. I mean, even at that when we were at the Women's Health Convention, they were talking about how people tried to say it was 2 days for you to recover. They've proved it can be anywhere from 2 days to 30. So everyone's different, and that's the biggest thing too, is letting yourself
Just knowing your
properly.
body.
Yeah, knowing your own body, what you can handle, and you can slowly build up more. You can get endurance. So obviously, it's a work in progress all the time. Um, so first thing we'll get into is the easiest way to exercise, in my opinion. The easiest thing you can do is walk around. And we're not talking, slow, sluggish walk. We're doing a
You got to
good
get
walk.
that heart rate up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's where you shouldn't be able to have a nice conversation the whole time. You should be maybe a little out of breath.
That's
Good
how it was
fast pace.
explained to me. You don't want to be having just a casual conversation like we're having.
Yeah.
But I should be able to answer you if you ask me a question.
Yeah. Yes or no, a few words, stuff like that.
Right.
But so walking fast, nice elevated heart rate. If you can do that for just 10 minutes after every meal, the list of benefits is insane. So it blends your blood glucose levels by 17%. It lowers your triglyceride levels after a meal by 72%. So it gets rid of almost all of those bad triglycerides from the blood instantly. Um, on top of that, it's going to get all of the carbs out of your bloodstream. Usually we just replace those right away though. So that's not too big a deal, but it's speeding up how you're digesting your food, which is great for your metabolism. It's even helping lower blood pressure, helping you get a little bit better sleep usually too. So it goes a lot more into how far can you walk, but it's all of those other different things that are going into it.
Right.
And then if you have like a treadmill at home, something like that, and you don't want to get out because it's cold, windy, whatever's going on here, or too hot, that's usually the case, is do an incline. If you can do an incline of even just one, that's going to basically slow down your speed. Every time that you go up in an incline one level, you can go down about 2 miles per hour and still get the same benefits. So again, just do whatever you can, but if you can do 10 minutes after a meal, that's going to give you tons of great benefits. Help prevent diabetes, bunch of good stuff. And then the step up from walking, I'd say, is running or cycling or swimming, whatever form of cardio you want to do, all great options. But I feel like people have a misconception with cardio is that it's going to make you skinny and it's going to make you lose all your weight. And sadly, it's just not. It's not the cure for weight loss. It is the cure for helping with preventative for heart disease. And
that's what I love to tell people is like cardio is so great for your heart because what it builds is collateral growth around your heart. So you get all these new vessels that will actually surround your heart. So if you have a heart attack later in life, those vessels can take the place of some of those heavier hitters. If they get clogged up, they could still provide some oxygen and blood flow to your heart. So if you can get to the doctor and get a cath lab and get, a stent or get the blockage or however removed, then those can actually compensate for a little while for you. But it's not to dismiss cardio. Like we should all be doing cardio for that reason.
Yes. For anything, no one wants to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
And it's one of the biggest longevity things you can do for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
as women, like we've all been trained, like,
all you can do.
Yeah, we do have to do jazzercise, aerobics.
You don't want to gain any muscle. You just want to be skinny. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then that kind of, well, first off, let's talk about what cardio does for you because it's doing a lot more too. Obviously, like she was saying, it's strengthening our heart. It's improving circulation. It's giving even new blood vessels to circulate blood, so you're better oxygenated. You have way higher endurance if you're in good cardiovascular health. On top of that, it even improves your bone health because
Yeah,
you're running, you're
absolutely.
banging around and stuff.
Yeah,
It
and
slowly
not
helps.
pounding on the ground.
Yeah, so it actually is proven to help with chronic pain also because of that same reason is that you're doing that pounding and stuff.
I have several people that do it for back pain because
Yeah.
they get let's say that's like the one thing that relieves their back pain the most.
And
is
it's
being able
for
to
some reason
run.
that euphoric rush afterwards and
Mhm.
all of that goes into it. So even if you need to mitigate pain, it sounds crazy to go for a run about it, but that's
Yeah.
one of people's biggest things for taking it away.
Well, they talk about the runner's high.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's a real thing too. I mean, you
And if
you
you
release all those endorphins and you feel really good. It
completely
takes a while to get there.
it's not at first. At first you're beat red and you're sweating, you're like, why am I doing this? And then after a few months, usually you're like, oh, I can run a mile that fast now. Like
Yeah.
just or even walk, run, whatever you can do. And same with cardio, you don't have to go crazy the whole time. We're not wanting you to run on a treadmill nonstop until you hit your mile. That's what one of the best things to do is sprint walk miles, is where you do little bursts of high energy so you get that heart rate elevated. But then you let your heart gradually come down, which is healthier than keeping it elevated long term from doing a long term run.
Right.
Is another thing too is we don't want to do too much cardio and get our heart used to being so elevated all the time.
And there really is like a target range per age, right? Like
Oh,
if you're a
completely.
certain age, you want to have your heart rate, between maybe 80 and 100 or,
Yeah,
whatever
it
it is for
slowly
your
goes
group.
down as you go up because obviously you can't output as much. So
Right.
that's the other thing too is people say, why can't I run like I did, 10 years ago? It's because you're older, your heart can't handle putting
Right.
out that cardiovascular
But if
output.
you're staying in that range, then
stay
you're
there.
still getting a good workout, even though, you may need it to be 120 years ago and now
And now you don't have to do
do
as
that.
much.
But you still need to be, because I've also heard, if you're not even getting your heart rate up to at least the low number, you might as well just stop. You're not really
Yeah, just
doing
doing
a whole lot. And then if you're going way over, because sometimes we like to push it and we ride hard, I like to bike ride and I'll go a lot longer, a lot harder
Yeah.
because I think I can. But
And yet
again,
you're
I'm
putting
not
yourself
even
at a little not cardiovascular risk, but you're tiring everything out.
Everything
You're
else
making
up.
it work really hard.
right. So
So
you really got to stay in that range, right?
yes, there's a great balance between it, and that's probably the hardest part for most people is they go too far into cardio. Is that's the only thing they're doing throughout the week. They're doing it 4 to 5 days, or if they are doing strength training, they're still doing cardio after it every time. And the worst part about that is it mitigates muscle mass gain by about 30% usually, and sometimes even more, just because it's burning all of those carbs out of the bloodstream. It's taking stuff away from what you're going to be putting into your muscle mass.
And another thing I think too, that's important with your heart rate is, we used to have to check our pulse. And that was always so hard because I'm like, how am I supposed to check my pulse when I'm running and doing all this? And it was so hard. But now, I mean, now there's Fitbits, there's Apple Watches, there's all kinds of the Aura Ring. Like
Yeah.
there's so many different apps now that you can get to really monitor your heart rate.
Yeah, and at this point, the accuracy of them is amazing.
Yeah.
That's what none of them are going to be lying to you, really. And then just one other thing to throw in there with cardio is it is one of the best ways to raise your HDL cholesterol and lower your LDL. Is usually, and the golden ratio for cardio is they recommend only about 50 minutes a week at most.
Nice.
Just because you're in a perfect world, you're mixing it with strength training or body weight exercises and things like that. That's what you're doing most of the week. And then we're getting maybe 30 to 50 minutes of cardio.
So if I wanted to do a 20-minute workout, 2 or 3 times a week, could I do like 10 minutes of, like maybe some fast walking, treadmill, cardio, and then do the other 10 strength training? Or is it better to do like one day cardio, the next day strength training and just kind of, go back and forth?
Something that a lot of people will tell you is controversial.
Okay.
It really depends on the person and it depends how you eat. And
Okay.
I mean, that's the biggest thing with it too, is basically if you're not eating about an hour to 2 hours decent protein before your meal or before your workout, then you're using up too much energy basically to get any good muscle mass gain. So you're still getting the cardiovascular output, you're still getting that good benefit,
Right.
but it's mitigating the other benefit. So I'd say, at least in my opinion, I keep them separate. I have a specific day for cardio And that's when I don't stick to a certain time period. I just do my one run that I need to do or my one bike ride, and that's my workout for that day.
Okay.
But that's kind of how I look at cardio is it's something to add into all of the other stuff and definitely do in moderation because you can go too far
much.
on cardio.
Good to know.
Yeah. And then that leads me into my favorite, which is strength training. And so,
Which has always typically been the man's exercise.
yes.
And that's really where I think
And that's where everyone
we need to
should
start
be.
changing.
Yeah,
the
that's where
mindset.
women need to start heading towards too. Is you're not gonna get too buff. You're not gonna look weird. You're gonna look great. Your body composition is gonna change. I mean, we have different figures. So I'm sure you could get a physique that looks like a man's at some point if you wanted to. But
Right.
you'd have to try really hard to do that.
Right.
You're not just gonna overnight be like, my arms are huge. What the heck? But you're gonna be healthy, and every pound of muscle you throw on your body ups your metabolism. It's one of the best things for, our heart's muscle. So it's
Right.
helping with all of that stuff. It helps with organ systems. The more muscle we can have and the less fat, obviously, always the better.
Right.
So
Help
that's
protect bones, especially for falls
yes,
as we get older.
and it's I'd say better than cardio at improving that bone density too, just because you're putting so much pressure and strain on those bones and joints over and over. So with strength training, that's when we're talking 3 days a week for 20 to 30 minutes, is that you're basically going to make sure you set time aside to hit different parts of your body. And that's probably the most time consuming part of strength training is you don't want to do everything at once. You want to kind of split up what you're doing exercise wise. Is we're hitting certain parts of our body for certain days, and then you need to recover too. So we need about 48 hours for a specific muscle group to recover. And if you're not giving it that, then again, you're not getting the benefits that you should. But we're not talking just lifting heavy weights or anything like that. Strength training can be anything. We don't have to be doing deadlifts or heavy squats or anything like that. It can be body weight, and that's what I like to
and
go.
that's usually, especially for women, like
The way to go.
Yeah, because I don't need
You're not
huge
gonna hurt
weight,
yourself. You're not gonna break anything or strain anything.
and it's hard enough to lift yourself.
Exactly. But that's where I say always start out just with bodyweight exercises. And then once you feel like that's easy, that's when you can add in a liter water bottle or something like that. You don't have to go crazy. Your
Right.
muscles will respond to the stimulation no matter what. So if you've got to do 40 bicep curls with water bottles because you don't want to use 5-pound dumbbells, do that then.
Right. And I think that's a really good tip for people because, when we think, oh, I got to go work out. Well, now I got to go buy resistance bands. I got to go buy weights and they're expensive. And I got to go buy, and you really don't. Like you can.
No, you can work out your whole body without anything at all.
Yeah.
All you need is a wall and a floor usually.
Or a chair.
Yeah,
I would do a chair.
Tons of chair
Doing
exercise.
squats is good because I know where I need to be for. Like when I do my squat,
yeah, completely.
My butt touches the chair. I'm like, okay, time to get back up.
Chair yoga, chair mobility exercises. There's a bunch of you can do exercises in any way you want.
Yeah.
It's really just as long as you're moving and getting it done, you're gonna get some sort of health benefits.
Right.
But for the most part, let's see if I missed anything. A big thing that I wanted to add in is that we're not getting any benefits out of really any of these as long as we aren't hitting two marks. If we're not sleeping right and if we're not eating right.
Sure.
So let's say we're sleeping good, but we have a really bad processed carb, processed sugar diet that's high fat. We're still not going to see, we might see results, we might see some growth, but it's going to be fat. You might see a little bit of muscle, but fat comes on a lot easier.
Right.
And then on top of that, let's say we're eating perfect and we're not getting any sleep. Same thing.
Right.
Is we need that deep sleep to actually grow muscle. So really, if those two markers aren't hit, it's really, you're still getting certain benefits.
Right.
But it's really looking at the whole picture.
Right. And that's kind of what we always have talked about.
We always get back.
Yeah. Hormones, gut health, brain health, like you got to take care of all of it. You got to eat right.
Yeah, it all has to be in check and balanced, and then you will get good results. But usually if you are working out and you're not seeing anything, it's either you're training too much and you're not giving yourself time to recover, or
which I
you're
see a lot,
all the
honestly.
time.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people will, because you get kind of addicted to the feeling of being sore and being a
Mhm.
little bit swollen in your muscles and things like that.
Right.
And you just start adding more and more. Like I'll get up to where I go 6 days a week because I just want to go to the gym or something. And
Right.
the only way I can actually do that is if I only work out one specific group every 2 days, and then I let that recover while I hit something else the next 2 days, basically. So if you do feel like you have to go crazy, you just have to split everything up. You
In
don't have
moderation, like everything else, right?
yeah, exactly. Like even with same with cardio. One of people's biggest problems is they do it after every workout. For some reason, I'm not sure who told them to, but there's a lot of people that do. And I mean, you think, oh, you're killing two birds with one stone, but it's everything in moderation. Don't do too much to yourself just because you don't want to go to the gym 2 days a week instead of
Right.
one. Um, but besides that, it's really just wherever you can meet any of these types of exercises, the better. If you can do a little bit of all of them, that's going to be the best. But if you just want to walk, that's completely fine. That's going to make sure that your heart is a lot healthier than it would have been. And as you take steps and add and incorporate exercising, even just walking, usually it becomes easier to start throwing more things in. As you realize, oh, I have time to do this. I can just this day I'm not going on a walk. I'm doing this instead.
Some of my things I think too is if you have a buddy.
Oh yeah, an
You can
accountability
if you
buddy.
can yeah, accountability buddies are great because you don't wanna let them down, and when you don't feel like going, working out or going for that walk, they're showing up at your door and you don't wanna
Uh,
tell them no, so you end up going and it really especially in the beginning when you're really trying to get that motivation to exercise, like,
yes,
to get a buddy is so good, and I think my other pearl is you don't need to go to a gym membership. It takes 30 days to make a habit, 30 days to break
yeah.
a habit. So,
You
what
should
I
never
was always
start
told
at
is,
the gym.
yeah, 30 days, like try something for 30 days. And if you can do it for 30 days, then maybe reward yourself with buying some weights or a gym
Yes,
membership or a bike or, whatever is your thing, but at least do something consistently for 30 days, well,
completely
in
for yourself.
moderation, like
Yeah,
we said, but, over a month that you're really have built those habits. So you're not just going out and buying a gym membership that,
just
now
sits
it's
there.
yeah, it just sits there and you're spending money on it.
And in reality too, you can even look this up. Gyms bank on that.
Oh,
They bank on
absolutely.
you thinking that you paying for it is going to get you to motivated to go,
Right,
and they know that it's not actually going to happen.
right.
So I want to say on average, usually about 70% of a gym's memberships don't go, but everyone feels bad about canceling their gym membership because it makes you feel like you're giving up. And that's what they rely on. So
Right,
do it for yourself first. Don't do it because you're paying a gym membership.
exactly,
Is it all has to be because you want to and because you're seeing good, healthy results from it.
exactly.
And then another thing too is they recently changed the amount of steps that we're supposed to do daily. They used to say 10, now they're saying that's overkill.
Oh,
And they're finding that it's actually bad for people's longevity to walk too much. They're
okay,
saying 7,000 is now the ratio we're looking for.
okay.
And they say you can go beyond that. You can do 7,000 steps and still go on a run or something like that, or still do cycling.
So that's just like what you want to do in a day, just
Yeah, just
casually
working
working and
or being at home.
oh,
It's just you should hit 7,000 as your baseline.
okay,
And that's all that means is a lot of people will be like, oh, I have to hit. And it's like, no, that's just your healthy amount that you should.
right.
It just, same with that walking after every meal, just helps get everything going.
Okay.
And on top of that, walking is what basically helps detox our whole lymph system. I mean, our calves are our pumps for up here. So
So you got to get it out.
exactly. But I already went over this, so just make sure to overtrain your muscle systems. You need 48 hours for each muscle group to recover on average. If you feel like you're recovered and it hasn't been 48 hours, you usually are not. Sorry, our cleaner decided to check in for. And then again, sleep is essential for actual muscle gain. You have to get good deep sleep. Again, you can track that with smartwatch, ring, whatever else, but usually you can tell if you're pretty well rested or not. Um,
And if not, you can always come and see us because we have a peptide for that.
oh yeah, we've got peptides and we have the best sleep supplements you can get. And then just eating right. I mean, you have to prioritize protein. We've got to prioritize fiber, and we have to basically do everything in healthy moderation. We can't have tons of, processed foods, tons of fat, anything like that, and hope to see results still.
And I really think fiber is a good one. We don't hit a lot on that.
No,
We talk a lot about protein, but I think fiber, like we should almost have a whole 360 on fiber because it does so many things for you.
completely.
So, I mean,
But yeah, it's becoming bigger in the nutrition field where people are starting to recognize how important fiber is. I think people will start talking about it a lot more, but I think we should talk about this.
yeah, we'll do it. We'll do an episode on fiber.
Yeah. And then last thing that I just want to go over is just with working out, with anything you're doing, the main thing you want to do is plan your meals around it. So let's say we're doing a strenuous exercise and we know we're going to do that in about 2 hours. It'd be a pretty good idea to get about 20 grams of protein right then, and maybe a banana or something like that, just some good carbs and fiber, so that you have the energy that you're ready to burn. And when basically that protein lasts in you for about 2 hours.
So, question for you,
Yeah.
because we always hear, before runners go running or exercising, they carb load.
Yep.
But it's not like spaghetti, right? Like we're not sitting down and eating a big plate of
No, they're not
spaghetti.
eating anything heavy. Usually it's for the most part these days, all I see is people eating gel packets
Okay.
of carbs. It's like a gel carb form, and that's usually the healthiest version because there's nothing else attached to it. But yeah, a like one banana or something like that is usually good, and you want to do it 30 to 40 minutes before
Okay.
because you're going to get a cramp otherwise from trying to digest and run at the same time. So that's the main thing, is you want to be able to utilize that stuff, but you don't want to eat right before you're doing a workout or going on a run, or you're going to make yourself unfit.
Perfect.
Do we have any questions?
Do we have any questions? Anybody write in? Nope.
No. Maybe we have a few minutes left. Do you want to maybe like go over a couple exercises that are really easy to do, like in your living room? But like, I know not my YouTube channel, but Mad Fit is a really good option for really quick workouts. I know she has like 2 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, no equipment, no space, no jumping if you're in an apartment. I definitely really recommend her personally. But Price, do you have any like?
Well, I was about to add into that is that's a great recommendation, is if you don't know where to start, look to YouTube.
Yeah.
There is millions of personal trainers on there that will give you workouts, and don't do advanced. Look, search beginner in there too. Just make sure that they're showing you the easiest way to do that workout possible. And then when you feel like that is easy, that's when, maybe I'll start doing the intermediate version of it.
Right.
But you should never start out. There's a reason why they're called advanced workout forms. I don't expect anyone to be able to do perfect push-ups right away if they haven't done them in years.
Right. Exactly.
We don't have
You don't want to hurt yourself either, doing something you're not ready for either.
No, not at all. And that's why, like we were talking about earlier, never add heavy weights right away too. That's a recipe for hurting yourself also.
Yeah.
I have a question for Price. Everybody, all the girlies on TikTok talk about Pilates. Pilates this, Pilates that. Is that a good option for me to do if I'm looking to strength train?
Yeah, Pilates is a really good option it's kind of a mixture. So it's a combo of cardio and strength training together, in my opinion. And a little bit of a HIIT style too. Yeah, and yoga. It's really just an amalgamation of a bunch of different workout styles together. But no, I think it's a good option. Again, if you can, as long as you're working out in some way, I don't see it as a bad thing unless it is actively hurting your body. But if it's improving your health and fitness, then do it, no matter what it is.
The push-ups hurt my body. But you're saying I should still do push-ups?
Well, that's a loaded question. I mean, pain is something that's going to come with working out no matter what. It's not comfortable. It's not super duper fun. Not right away, at least. But as long as you're not giving yourself something where it's becoming a chronic pain issue that's hurting, continuously after, then that means that you're recovering and you're most likely strengthening that weakness in that area. So that'd be my biggest thing, is if you feel like you can't do something, that's when you look at physical therapy exercises to be able to do that. Like maybe you have a winged scapula or something like that needs pulled back in place. So you need to, you don't have to go to a physical therapist. You can YouTube all of that stuff too. So that'd be my biggest advice, is if you do feel like you run into any issues or a lot of pain, something like that, is there's always a reason. There's something going on with that spot in your body.
All right. And for some people just joining us, will you give us a quick like cliff notes if there was like maybe 3 things that you should take away from this talk today? What would that be?
Prioritize strength training. And that's a big thing that I feel like women have not been told to do for a long time,
Yeah, great.
but it's amazing for you. On top of that is that nutrition and sleep go hand in hand with any sort of exercise. And then if you can just do 2 to 3 days a week at 20 to 30 minutes, you're ahead of about 70% of at least the US population on working out and exercise. So you're giving yourself a good head start.
Even if somebody only has, what about 5 minutes a day? That's all I have.
Whatever you can do.
Better than nothing.
It is. It's better than just sitting in a chair rotting away all day.
That's what I like to hear. Awesome.
They've actually, one thing I want to add in real quick, is they've proven if you sit for over a 2-hour period of time, you instantly, your blood pressure usually raises by 15%. And then it basically was just proving that if you get up within a 2-hour period, if you work at an office or anything like that and walk around for just 2 minutes, you're going to have better blood pressure, lower stress, lower triglyceride levels, all the benefits from cardio, but all throughout the day, basically.
Is that why my Apple Watch tells me every couple hours it's time to get up and move?
Exactly. So smartwatches now are actually coded where if you've been sitting for more than 2 hours, every time on my drive to Tucson every week, it tells me to get up and walk right before I get there. And then it says, good job, you're active again. But that's why. So that's just a scientific fact that these people obviously know is if you can take a few steps every 2 hours, again, you're ahead of most people.
So listen to the bot on your wrist.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for joining us. Next week, we're going to talk about sexual health. So if you're sensitive, probably not going to be the video for you to watch. Or if you have questions, it might be, because I think we're really going to talk about all of it. I mean, down to the penis, the vagina, how things can be stimulated, how it all works. So we're really going to dive deep into that. So join us next week for Revive 360. If you have any anonymous questions or something that you really want answered and you're just too shy to ask, you can email them to admin@azrevive.com and ask those questions. So that way we can make sure we get that answered in the 360 next week. And also like us on Facebook and
subscribe to us on YouTube.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Other than that, I will be out for tonight, and we'll see you guys next week when we talk about sexual health.
Thanks
Thank you.
for joining us.